I sent out an email, and so I'm really excited. But guys, I want to welcome you to tonight's webinar. It's the 7th of January, and we started this on December the 1st. Our goal, our objective was that everyone who participated in the IFC in 90-day boot camp, you would actually become an international executive and receive, be in position to receive $600 stipend. And so having said that, we're going to get started, guys. We're going to really pick up the pace. And so I want to thank you. Tonight's webinar is really where the rubber meets the road. Belinda, you may have heard me send out an email or say that. I sent out an email, and one of the things, constants I talk about is knowing where you are. I told each of you who got on tonight's webinar to be prepared because we're going to really focus on accountability. So when I say where the rubber meets the road, one of the things I need you to do is go to your back office. When I say go to your back office, some of you have been in longer than others. Some of you are national. Some of you are at different levels. If you were already international, we want you to hit the reset button. But you got to first know where you are. Guys, if you're going to achieve any goal, you got to first know where you are in relationship to where you want to go. And so what I need you to understand is you got to first understand what it's going to take to become international executive. I'm not going to go over the comp plan, but bottom line, you have to have a minimum of 15 direct personal sponsors, and you have to have at least 3 people who will become national executives, meaning they have 10 people. So one of the things I want to tell you is this. Most people focus on doing the minimum. Okay, what's the minimum I need? Okay, I need 15 people. So they work hard to get to the 15 people, and they get to the 15 people, and then when they finally get the 3 nationals, 2 or 3 of their people have dropped off. So guys, I always want to challenge you, never do the minimum. So you probably want to go 18 to 20 wide, but then you got to focus on, and I've had several calls this week with people who are nationals. I told them, I said, listen, you've had that title way too long. They're national, but what I told them is, listen, now it's time for you to develop somebody else. See, you're not really a national until you can help produce a national. And so what did you do to become national, guys? You got to lock in and help somebody else become national. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but you got to first know where you are. So guys, how many direct sponsors do you have? That's a question you got to answer. How many directs, and then who on your team? Today they did the IMV, and they talked about the core 3. What is a core 3? Based on documentation, loyalty, competitive spirit, humility, poise, passion. But who's your core 3? And a lot of people say, I don't have a core. We're going to teach you how to dig through your team and discover the diamonds in the rough. So having said that, guys, let's really get started with tonight's webinar. So having said that, what I want you to understand is, let's begin with the end in mind. Till February 28th, there are 52 days left in the program. So again, where are you? That's the first question tonight we got to really address. And so I'm going to open up the line later on, but I'm not going to be able to get to everybody, but I need you to answer these questions. Here's where I am. This is my name. Here's where I am. I personally have sponsored 3 people. I personally sponsored 10 people. I personally sponsored 20 people. I need to know how many people you have personally sponsored today. How many people do you have active in your organization? If you personally sponsored 12, but let's say you personally sponsored 18, but 6 of them are inactive. I want to know that too. I personally enrolled 20 people, 7 of them are inactive. And I would like you to be specific and tell me who's inactive. Now, your effort and activity has to line up with the goal. Again, we know that minimum, you had to have 15 people direct, and you have to have 3 nationals. So right now, if you have 1 executive and that's all you have, that's cool. We just got to know where you are. And stop shooting for the minimum, but expect the maximum results. Guys, this is where it's about to pick up. We talked about accountability, and I think this is what attracted most people. Now, from this point forward is where you're going to start turning in your activity. Now, from this point forward is where we're going to start measuring your results. And so having said that, what I want you to understand is, are you on track to reach your goals? We got to be honest. See, Mr. Bradley always taught me, he said, never adjust your goal, always adjust your effort. And so, guys, one of the things I need you to understand, Sandra, is that this is a numbers business. Roger, this is strictly numbers business. Here's what I understand. You can't beat the numbers, but the numbers can't beat you. I'm going to say that again, and it took me a while to get that. Once people really understand that this is strictly a numbers business, it frees them up because they take it personal when somebody talks to somebody. But guys, it's strictly numbers. You can't beat the numbers. Numbers can't beat you. We told you in an earlier webinar, we said we don't want you to do your best. We want you to do what's required. See, guys, when we say what's required, minimum, you got to have 18 people. 15 people. But again, I don't want you doing the minimum. So what I mean by this is what you lack in skill, you can make up in numbers. And we learned this from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn said, okay, you can be the type of person that you talk to 10 people to get one. So you may have to talk to 10 people, that's the numbers, to get one to join. So if that's the case, where somebody else may talk to 5 people and get one to join. Well, if they only talk to 5 people for the month and they get that one to join, but you talk to 20 people, you got 2 to join, you won. See, what you lack in skill, you can make up in numbers. Yes, some people may have come in and been in the industry. I've been in the industry going on 9 years. So again, I have developed certain skills and I'm teaching you those skills. But guys, what you lack in skill, you can make up in numbers. So you got to understand that this is a numbers business. You cannot beat the numbers, Michelle, but the numbers can't beat you. And so what you got to do is take charge of your business. Guys, this webinar is going to be really good, but it's going to be very simplistic and we're going to have a discussion. Here's what I need you to understand. No longer can you be passive. No longer can you sit back and wait. Now it's time for you to go out and get it. And I'm explaining what I mean as I go forward in this presentation. A lot of you, you're going to plug into the tools. A lot of people are saying, what do I send them to? And guys, you're going to get good at the presentation. I told you there's only 3 reasons people don't achieve their goals. Number 1, they don't have a goal. And so with the beginning of the year, guys, hopefully you set aggressive goals. We sent you a goal sheet that's in the back office of the IFC website that you should have set some aggressive goals for your family, financially, spiritually, physically. You should set goals in different areas of your life. You should have done a SWOT analysis, right? These are things we encourage you to do. Some things I ask for, some I don't. I just want you to do them because I understand this is what you got to do to go through the process. But you should have set aggressive goals. So number 1, the reason why people don't reach or achieve the success they want is they don't have a goal, right? I've talked to so many people and they don't have a goal. You say, well, what's the goal? I just want to be rich. That's too vague. Javers, I just want to, no, that's too vague, guys. What's the goal? So my goal is I need to put in 15 people this month. Great. That's a great goal. Now, having said that, the second reason people don't achieve their goal is their skill level. They're not good at what they do. Okay, you've seen the presentation and you're going to listen to the presentation, but you're still scared to do the presentation. At some point, guys, you got to take the initiative and say, listen, okay, I'm going to learn this. So you always come with a notepad and you got to be prepared to teach it. I told you from day 1, everything I share with you, you got to be prepared to turn around and teach it. See, guys, this is a high-tech game of follow the leader. It's okay in network marketing to copycat as long as you copy the right cat. And so, Erica, what you got to understand is so many people get caught up with, I understand, listen, you could have listened to Shanaz's video and wrote down verbatim what she said. See, Tawanda, what happens is sometimes you got to be the one giving the presentation. We got to stop waiting for it. We got to stop being passive. Well, I didn't have anybody to do my presentation. Really? See, guys, if you're going to become successful, you're going to become international, you got to start doing what internationals do. You got to start walking and talking and acting like a diamond before you ever become diamond. So the point of this is, guys, you got to take charge of your business. The time out of being passive, sitting there waiting and saying, okay, well, I'm going to get them plugged into this. No. You waiting. It's time for you to go out and you be aggressive. Now, let's go forward. So one of the things that was on the sheet was we gave you a 90-day planner. I really want you to print this out. Now, again, I told you that you could use your own planner, but what this has on this sheet is this. The first thing it says is executive date. And if you were already a diamond, already an international, I wanted you to start over because, guys, all of us can re-hit the set button. So guess what? To date, okay, when in the 90 days, have you personally sponsored 3 people? If not, guys, you need to become executive. So it says, what's your goal date and what's the completion date? When did you complete it? I put my 3rd person in today, right? And so guess what? Regional. That means you're going back, you need 6 people. It says, what's the goal date? You need to set a date, okay, by next week, or you got to set a specific date, but what date did you actually accomplish it? National. 10 personal people that you personally enrolled. What was your goal date? When did you accomplish it? And international. We already know that, but don't set the 28th as your date. Well, I'm going to do it by the 28th. No, don't ever set the last date as the date that you're going to do it. But what date is your goal date, and then when did you accomplish it? Now, you know, in order to become international, you got to produce nationals. So this is the generic version that lets you see it, but this is what you're going to turn in. This second sheet And I'm not so much concerned about the page. You can scan it. But guys, here's what I understand. In order to reach your goals, if you take care of the week, like I told you, we're going to measure the weeks. And now I'm requiring you no less than 4 appointments in the week. Now, again, from earlier presentation, I told you, you got to organize yourself, that you treat it like a business, but you work it like a job. I've also told you that, guess what, wherever you are, be there. I told you, I'm not asking you to stop going to mosque or temple or church or whatever it is, but I'm asking you to increase your worship time and your prayer time and your study time, and you do your confessions. And so I'm asking you to do more affirmations. I'm telling you to get your mind right. So having said that, but you got to now turn in your weekly accountability worksheet. What do I mean? You can have no less than 4 appointments a week. But I really want to start measuring your results. And how you do that, you got 7 days. Now, again, I told you know where you are. So how you measure where you are is if you got 52 days and you personally need 18 people or 15 people, then you need to divide how many weeks. So we got a total of 8 weeks. And each week it'll tell you how many people you need to bring in. So you probably need to bring in 2 a week, but I'm going to say 3 or 4 a week. So that may mean you got to increase your activity. And you'll see this at the end, how I do the math. When I say it's just numbers, you can't beat the numbers, but the numbers can't beat you. But guys, let me go to the next slide, because here's what this talks about. When you look at this sheet, it asks how many new prospects did you meet today? So every day you should be meeting new people. Every day you should position yourself. Now let me explain what I mean. Instead of when you go to the grocery store, instead of just going directly to the cereal aisle, always go to somebody and say, can you show me where the cereal is? Instead of just going to the checkout counter where you can check out yourself, no, always go to the line. You may say, well, shut up, that's a line. Exactly, there's people on the line. Bring up conversation. You always can put yourself in a position to meet new people. So you don't go out to prospect, but you prospect as you go. And so what happens is you just got to put yourself in an environment where people are. Never go through the drive-through. Always go in. Well, shut up, it's cold outside. It's 2 degrees. Listen to me, guys. It's people. Don't go to the gas station and swipe your card. Go into the go inside. What I'm saying is, guys, position yourself always to meet new prospects. Always to be able to ask, man, you look familiar. Man, are you from around this area? What do you do? See, guys, again, you want to be interested, not interesting. You've heard that before. Now, number 2, how many appointments did you do? See, you got to move from the prospect to how many people are you actually showing the plan, whether they get on a conference call, whether they get on the launch call, whether you sit down with them one-on-one, whether they watch the video, whether you do a travel party. We already told you it's different forms of exposure, but you got to show the plan to interested people. Your job is to pique people's interest, and the interested people show them the plan. Now, out of the interested people, we told you how to do a 3-way phone call. We told you to ask 2 questions. What did you like best about what you saw or heard? And listen. Don't interrupt them. Listen and let them tell you, I like the ability to travel. I like the ability to have residual income. Whatever it is, you agree, because you want to know what they like best. And the second question is on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you ready to get started, 1 being it's not for you, what number would you give yourself? And let them answer. And I told you if they are a 6 or higher, that means that they have a level of interest. You then get them on the 3-way phone call with your senior upline leadership. Now listen to me. If you're a national, whoever your first upline international is, that's who you do your 3-way phone call with. If you a shutter, no. See, guys, you got to follow the process, the system. See, everybody has different styles, but guess what? You still do the 3-way phone call with your personal upline sponsor. You know, and guess what? You can do them with sideline partners. But the reality is your 3-way phone call has to be with interested people. See, because if you have interested people, half the battle's done. Now that you have interested prospects, you do the 3-way phone call, you're going to have new business partners. Now, when you bring the new business partner in, it's so important that you launch their business. You help them launch their business, and then the other thing you got to measure is reactivations. See, guys, you got to set goals for the week. What's my goal for the week? How many people am I personally going to sponsor this week? Then you got to go talk to the people on your team and ask them the same thing. Listen, this week I want to work with you. This week, hey, listen, I want to really, help you get to the next level. Sometimes as a leader, you got to set goals for people on your team. You got to say, listen, I want to help you, but, I think this week I need you to sponsor 4 people. See, guys, you got to set goals. See, you got to also at the same time while you're personally putting people in, you got to be simultaneously walking and chewing gum. You got to be working with your team to help them because you need 3 nationals. So now that you understand that, what you got to understand is at the end of every week, you have to do an autopsy on your business. You can no longer let the week go past and not measure your results. What did you accomplish this week? See, when I say an autopsy, if somebody passes, the coroner always does an autopsy to see what was the cause of death. You got to each week look at your business and find out what is the results of your business. If you're having results, great, keep doing the same thing. If you're not having results, you got to call a timeout and say, hey, now you got to look at your activity, or you got to look at your skill set. And that was the last thing. Remember I told you you had 3 goals? I may have skipped ahead and went and never told you the third one. Let me back up. You got to first have a goal. Number 2, you got to get skilled at what you do. But number 3, you got to have enough appointments. You got to have enough appointments. You cannot expect to reach the goal of international and you trying to talk to one person a week. And no, you got to do the right activity. And so, guys, this is the accountability sheet that every week I'm expecting. And again, you see where it says autopsy. I want to know who you did the appointments with. I want to know what the results was. I want to know what's going on with your business. Now, so having said that, I told you the last one was re-engage someone who's inactive. So let's say you've personally, Tawanda, you sponsored 20 people, but you got 4 people inactive. Now, I'm a firm believer that when the horse is dead, dismount. Please understand this. I ain't trying to beg nobody to do something, but I am telling you guys, Bill, a lot of times right now, there are people who may have stopped, but because we're in the beginning of a brand new year, you can go re-engage someone who's inactive. Now, what do I mean? Number 1, genuinely be interested in their success. I've had several people who they stopped and I didn't stop. When they stopped, I kept going. But I'm reaching back around and I'm reaching out to them on Facebook. I'm reaching out to them and saying, hey, Happy New Year. How you doing? Just genuine question. And I'm listening. And guess what? I want to get them on the phone. I call them. I say, hey, so how's the holidays? How's your family doing? I use the form technique. So I'm going to teach you how to re-engage somebody who's inactive. Number 1, you have a person, actually, they're no longer paying. Don't just assume because they shut their site down. Don't just assume because they're not. Don't get offended at them because they're no longer in the business. Guess what? Find out how they're doing. And see, guys, you got to understand this. You got to still, this business is not supposed to dissolve your relationships. I know people say the NFL, no friends left, but that's not what this is for. This should enhance your relationships. And yes, you may have to change circles. You may have to change your environment. You may have to put yourself in a new circle. If you can't change the people you're around, yes, you got to change the people that you hang around. Yes, if you hang around broke folks, you got to get yourself a new circle. All that's true. But guys, what I'm trying to tell you is this is a people business. You're in the people business. And so, guys, one of the things you got to do is use the form technique. The form technique is when you talk to somebody, you don't always go straight in, let me tell you about this business. Are you ready to get started? Guys, sometimes you got to caress and you have to make people feel special. So why not take time and ask them, how's your family doing? You know, hey, happy holidays. How's your family doing? Do you even know who their family is? That may be the reason they're inactive. You may have did all the things to get them in the business. Now that they're in the business, oh, you on to the next person. So number 1, when you talk and you call somebody or you text them on Facebook and say, hey, just checking in on you. How you doing? You know, they probably going to mention the business, but you say, hey, how are you doing? How's your family doing? You know, I got a business partner right now. His mother's in the hospital. I'm not calling him, and when I say he's seconds away from hitting the next level, but my question is, how's your mom doing? Why, she was in the hospital. You know, I'm praying for her. How's she doing? See, guys, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. And you got to take time to show people that you care. So number 1, the form is ask them how your family doing. Number 2, so, hey, how's work? You got a promotion lately? You know, you're excited about, see, once you just kind of talk about that, they'll kind of let you know, oh, I'm sick of this job, or, oh, my goodness, I got to find something different. But don't jump yet. Guess what? So what you been up to lately? You traveled lately? What, you got some plans for 2015? Where you traveling to this year? What's your goals? What's your dreams? Where you taking your kids? Ask them. But last but not least, money or message. See, I love asking those. You'll see the screen. Those last 3 bullets are where you say money or message. I like asking, so what you expecting in 2015? What's your plans? See, it's an open-ended question that causes them to respond. You know, even on Facebook, you can send people messages, hey, what you believe in God for in 2015? What's your message? I mean, everybody comes from church. Everybody got these sayings, you know, it's my year, you know, all those things. I'm going to live my dreams in 2015. So I want to know, you know, what you're working on. But you leave a question out there, and they tell you. So what exciting things is God doing in your life? I love asking that question. It's an open-ended question. But guys, you get to engage people. They get engaged. And then you ask them, I like to ask them, have you ever thought about taking another look at vacation, or listen, you know, are you ready to finish what we started? See, we started and then you stopped. I never stopped. You stopped. So I'm asking them, hey, listen, You know, I done asked you how your job is. I done asked you how you feel. You done told me everything I need to know. So now that you done told me that, I'm saying, listen, you know, what we got to do to get you back, man. I'm telling you, it's a lot of great things that's taking place in the business. I don't want you to miss it. See, guys, I'm saying care enough not to leave somebody behind. But listen to me. If they don't want to go, if the horse is dead, dismount. I had somebody today, as soon as I texted them, she said, I'm not interested in pay. I said, great. You know, I'm not trying to force you, so I want you to understand this, but I do believe some of you constantly look, and you have some of the people there. They just need to believe again. So let them know you really would love to work with them. I mean, it should be sincere. If you don't really want to work with them, don't call them and don't try to tell them. Last but not least, share with them what's going on in the company. Let them know how fast things are moving. Guys, listen to me. I'm going to share something with you may not know. But every time you see an email from Mr. Bradley that says exciting news or breaking news, guys, guess what? It may not physically happen in your team, but that's your story. You got to be able to say, listen, my partner just got promoted to international executive. They don't even know what that is. Man, my partner, JP Watkins, man, I'm so excited. She just got, they like, for real? See, guys, excitement in the company breeds excitement. You got to be excited when you talk to people. You got to say, man, another gentleman just got promoted to executive diamond. Man, we had a gentleman who's 26 years old. Man, this gentleman just put 1,400 people in the business in 40 days. Things are moving. They like, for real? See, guys, the company stories are your stories. So don't get like, oh, my team's not moving. Guys, my team is growing. See, if the company's growing, your company's, you got to, when you talk to people, they want to, how's it going for you? You can't be like, well, I'm praying and no. I'm not attracted to that. I want to be a part of something that's moving. And so, guys, you got to be able to share the story. Now, let's quickly move on. One other thing, when you're re-engaging, let them know that you would love to partner up with them, but be excited. Man, listen, Carolyn, man, man, look, we're going to do some big things. What we got to do to get you back on the team? See, she really want to go, but she needs that voice of confidence because she don't believe in herself. It's just not working for me. Girl, listen, you so sharp. If you ever applied yourself, you would be so good at this business. I'm telling you. But here's the thing, guys. It can't be the same as last time. See, last time they started their business, guys, help them get a plan, a game plan. Help show them how to relaunch their business. Also, let them know, just and quickly, I mean, these are bullet points. Let them know that the company has a system in place, a 4-step system like McDonald's. We got a system, a duplicatable system. Let them know, did you know the Priceline is partnering our website? Hey, let them know that, look, we're going to grow to 40,000 people. You ain't got to say it. We're going to grow to 40,000 people. See, guys, you got to let them know, listen, don't forget the tax breaks. Man, this is a great tax breaks. But I'm going to share another one with you. My partner, Jason Cross, he just got back from a tour on Dubai, and the pictures were just so amazing. But again, he went to toursfortheworld.com, and I'm going to give you a short overview. But guys, a lot of times I like to show people this site. Now, please listen to me. I do not promote this site on Facebook. I'm not trying to promote discount travel. But if I'm having a good discussion with a prospect or a business partner, I want them to understand the benefits of being a travel agent, that they can travel the world. I ain't just talking about no Cancun for no $200 or no Disney World for $100. I want to show them some dream trips, but show them what's the benefit of being a travel agent. But listen, one last thing. Did you ever thought about re-engaging and doing 3-ways with the people who are engaged? See, I love telling people, listen, if you got anybody on your team that's inactive, tell them, guess who asked about you? They're going to say, who? You know, you remember Mr. White or Shedrick White? Mr. White? Yeah, he asked about you. For real? Matter of fact, he told me when I got you on the phone to give him a call. You say, you would do that? Absolutely. See, guys, I love talking to people who kind of fired and died. I want to reinstill in them that. Why not? Why'd you give up? But, guys, I'm telling you, a lot of you are looking for diamonds, and the diamonds are in your backyard. A lot of you already got the people to get to the position. You ain't got the people who can be national. You got them. But listen to me. You may have to re-engage someone who's inactive. However, if the horse is dead, dismount. So this is Tours for the World. Again, I want you to write this site down. But please listen to me. I'm going to be checking your pages. Do not post this as a post on Facebook. You say, why not, Shedrick? Because, again, it's your secret weapon. It's your secret weapon. Listen to me. So Tours, the number 4, the world. Bookmark this. Now, I'm going to tell you this. When I finished doing presentations, I had a client go get a tablet or iPad. And I say, do me a favor. You see where it says Travel Agent, which is the green button? Click on that green button. And they click on that green button. Then I go through the screen. I hope you can see it. And it comes up, and it'll show them Argentina. Man, imagine going to Argentina for 8 days for, what's that say? They say $500. It's $599. Isn't that amazing? Or you know, this one's already sold out, but Australia down under. 8 days for 7. Man, that's amazing. See, that's the benefit of being a travel agent, right? Or look at this. What about going to Egypt on a Nile cruise for $699 for 9 days? See, I ain't talking about going to Cancun. I ain't talking about going to, no, I'm talking about going to Egypt. Now, you may not want to go over there right now, but I'm talking about to Guatemala to experience the Mayan culture. 6 days for $889. Yeah, you got to provide your airfare over there. But guys, these are dream trips. And last but not least, it's the one that my partner Jason just got off of. He went to the United Arab Emirates. He went to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. But guess what? 7 days, $1,300, and that's coming up. See, guys, and I'm going to encourage you, guess what? What is your dream trip? You did your dreams. You did your goal. Where do you want to go? Why not look back here and actually start planning the trip, start going with your team? Why? Because, guys, it's a part of our business. When you start going places and you start being the ones in the picture, yeah, you can put all these pictures on Facebook, but when you start being the one in the picture, it's a whole different discussion. So what's my point? Sometimes when you're re-engaging people, let them know you want them to be a part of your business. Go through the format. They find out how they're doing, how their family's doing, what they're working on, but ask them those provoking questions. What's your plans for 2015? See, guys, the definition of insanity is they're doing the same thing over and over but expecting a different result. Now, I've already got 3 people to re-engage, and I'm going back through and getting them all. Why? If they're interested, I'm going to get them back engaged. And if they're dead, I'm going to dismount. I'm not begging nobody to live their dreams. But what I am saying is I do care enough to say, you know what, you started with me. And you know what, maybe I didn't do my part. Maybe I was moving so fast that I didn't give you the help that you needed. But you know what, man, let's finish what we started. Man, your future is so bright. You know, and I don't care who it is. I'm always telling because I believe that you got what it takes to be diamond. You got what it takes. But I use this Tours for the World as that kind of like secret sauce to show them, listen, dude, as a travel agent, really? For $60, re-engage, get back in the business. So, but give them a game plan, guys. Give them a game plan. Now, let's move on because we got a lot to cover. A short period of time. Now, one other thing. Here's what you got to understand, guys. You got to get organized. See, it's you got to plan your activities. Now, listen to me. You got the calendar, and yes, you're going to write out the events where people are, but what does your date, what does your calendar say? See, if Monday is your day, how many appointments do you have for Monday? Do you have a 6 o'clock? Do you have a 6:30? Do you have a 7 o'clock? Are you doing webinars? Are you inviting people to Google Hangout? Are you doing Skype? I mean, what are you doing to show people the business? Are you just waiting for, well, what video do I send them to? See, guys, I told you the time of you being passive and waiting for it. No. For the IFC, you're going to accomplish international executive. Guys, you got to walk and talk like an international. I don't care what your title say, executive. You got to start walking, talking, acting now. So listen, you can have no less than 4 appointments for the week. I want you to do more. I don't ever want you doing the minimum, but you can't have no less than 4 appointments. So if you had a guest on the webinar, I need you to write down who the guest is. What was their thoughts? What's the process? If you did 2 one-on-ones and you sat down with 2 people at lunch, who did you sit down with? What's their number and what was the results? Oh, you know, I had some people who went to the meeting. Great. What meeting did they go to and what was their results? See, I want to measure what you say. And I told you, if you don't do 4 appointments for the week, if you don't expose 4 people to the business and go through the process, it's like you didn't work this week. So guess what? When you turn in and you don't do 4, that week is an X. You get 4 X's and you out the program anyway because you're not serious. So from this point forward, starting Monday to next Sunday. Now the reason why is I'm going out of town tomorrow. I'm going to London. So it's going to start Sunday night or Monday, and you got Monday to Sunday, but I'm getting you prepared. So you got to turn in your activity. And when we get on these calls, really what we're going to start doing is just really measuring activity. I'm not doing any more training. Now I answer questions, but I done gave you the training. Now we're going to measure results. When you're on the webinars and we get on here, we're going to be talking about what your activity was like. Tell me about your appointments. That's what we're going to talk about. And we're going to kind of learn and use those. But guys, use the tools, but you got to take control of your business. What I'm saying is this. Belinda, you'll miss 100% of the shots. You don't take the shot. Stop being scared to take the shot. The only difference between you and other persons, they taking the shot. You can't compete. You sitting there and you seeing people like, oh my God. Matter of fact, what was interesting, I'm gonna share this with you. I sat down with me and Chad. We went. Chad Thompson. This gentleman, just came from 5 Links, and this gentleman, just phenomenal. He hit Regional Diamond. He produced the Regional Diamond. He just produced an Executive Diamond, and this gentleman has about 1,400 people, and he's been in about 40 days. And what's so phenomenal, I mean, he did what we did, but here's my point. I'm not taking anything away from him. I got a chance to sit and talk to this brother, hear his story. I was just really, we really linked arms. It's like, man, let's work together. But in talking to him, as he began to share with me his schedule, I understand how he hit his goals so fast. Now, yes, he had experience. Yes, he was able to call 20 networkers, and they joined him. But here's the point. This brother's work ethic, no different from, you'll see, and again, I happen to notice, matter of fact, she snuck in on the webinar tonight, but Miss J.P. Watkins, I start watching her schedule. When people go in and you start seeing them, she was having launch calls and webinars, and I mean, she's just getting it in. Every time she called me, I got a three-way. If you want the results, you got to do what they do. See, your schedule's going to tell me if you're serious about it. You could tell all day long, I want it. It ain't going to come because you want it. It's going to come because you're doing the work. So guys, take the shot. I'm releasing you. I'm telling you. Okay. And I wasn't waiting when I first started. I wasn't waiting for nobody. Well, Donald, when can you come do my presentation? If I had to wait for, man, are you for real? You got to be the one willing to do it. Well, what video do I show them? Guys, you got to become the video. At some point, you got to be able to get a presentation. I mean, you've been in for 13 months and you still can't give a presentation. You still scared to talk about the business. See, guys, fail your way forward. You will never discover new oceans unless you got the courage to lose sight of the shore. You want this person to follow you. You want to get the big hitter, but why would they follow you? You can't even do a presentation. You scared to do a three-way phone call, but yet you want to get this big networker who's going to come and they go, no, why would they join you? Guys, you got to become the person, right? So having said that, again, there's a launch call. Use the tools that the company has, but I'm telling you, don't depend on them. See, what I understand is they plug into what's going on, but man, he got a call at 2, 1 at 4, and 1 at 10 o'clock every day, Monday through Friday. I said, oh, I see. I sent y'all that video where Holden Buggs showed you what he did every day for 2 weeks. He said he didn't eat, but yet you want the results. You want to make the money, but you don't want to do the work. No, you got to be willing to do the work. You're right. And so, guys, what I want you to understand is just use the launch call. Just get back with them. But when you're on the launch call, you should be listening to the people presenting so you could do the presentation. You should listen to the recording so you could do the presentation. Well, I thought we were supposed to do the three-way. Yes, you are. Yes, you should leverage. I don't care if you can't do the presentation. Listen to me. J.P. Watkins can do the presentation, but she still calls me for 3 ways. I do the presentation, but I still do 3 ways. So we're not telling you not to do 3 ways. We're just telling you stop waiting for somebody else to build your business and you take control of your business. Now, I'm wrapping up. Sync your calendar. This is going to be so important. You should look at your calendar and you should sync it up with what's going on with Teamwork Global, what's going on in the company. Well, since this is the VP of Marketing, and all the diamonds sync their calendars up and we turn them in, you should go to the calendar and you should click on and know what's going on each day. I'm not saying that you're going to have somebody out to every event, but what I am telling you is you got to know what's going on. You got to stop waiting. Well, I didn't see you post that flyer. Are you waiting on me to post a flyer? Or are you going to get it for yourself? See, guys, that's what I'm trying to tell you. The days out of you sitting there waiting for somebody to give you something, that's not what we're doing. You said you want to be an international executive. You said you want $600 a month. Why should they give you $600 a month if you can't even do a presentation? Why should they give you $600? You can't do a 3-way. How do you know how to do 3 ways? Because you're doing them. See, I told you, everything I'm teaching you, you got to turn around and teach it. It's not time out for just listening to it to get information. No, you need to learn it so you can turn around and teach it because you're sponsoring people. And now you're there. You're they joined you. So, guys, what you need to do is take your calendar, and you need to go and not just wait for Ms. Watkins to read the announcements on Sunday, not just wait for the IMB to say, ooh, where's it going to be at? Guys, if you don't go to teamworkglobal.com and look it up for yourself, now sometimes we announce stuff that's not on there yet, but guess what? What I'm saying is, listen, your calendar should be synced up with your physical calendar. You need to find out, are they going to be here? Why? Because you got people. But then go through your team and ask them the $1 million question. I think I'm going to slide ahead of myself. There it is. Who do you know? See, guys, we're going to be in London this week. And you may say, well, Shedrick, I don't know anybody in London. But you got 7 people on your team. Have you asked the people on your team who they know in London? Atlanta, there's a Super Saturday on the 17th. And I'm not going over every event. I just put a couple of flyers up here. But, guys, they're going to have 3 at the top, the VP of Marketing, the VP of Business Development, Mark Sterling, the newest National Diamond. Who do you know in Atlanta? If you can come to Atlanta, you need to be here. But guess what? Simultaneously, there's a weekly meeting that takes place on Tuesdays. I mean, there's meetings all across the country. Myself, Trey, and we're going on a diamond tour. Guys, we're going to be in Detroit. We're going to be in Milwaukee. We're going to be in Chicago. We're going to be in Boston, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Dallas, Fort Lauderdale, Greensboro, South Carolina. Guys, who do you know? Are you waiting until the week of to start finding out who do I know? And I'm not telling you to wait to get somebody to a meeting and say, well, I can't wait. No, you got to be showing your business. Again, I can't wait. I mean, we're going to start out in Detroit, not this week, but next week. And I'm just telling you, I can't wait. It's going to be so phenomenal. But guys, are you working through your team and are you working on getting people there? Or are you just waiting passively saying, well, I don't know nobody. But you said you wanted to be international. You said you want to see international. Think about the title. Even national, you should have a team across the nation. International, you trying to, guys, I'm just saying. Now, having said that, I'll be in Columbia on Monday. But anyway, are you plugged into the Teamwork Global Network on Facebook? Are you a member of this page? What I'm saying is on Facebook, are you a member? When Mr. Bradley's administrative assistant, Leanne, posts flyers up, you should be able to get them firsthand. You don't say, well, I didn't see him on the international flight campaign. Oh, I didn't see him on Team Success. I didn't see him on your page. No. Guys, if you hadn't heard nothing else I said this presentation, please understand it's time out for being passive. It's time out for waiting somebody to give you something. It's time for you to go out and get it. Stop waiting for your ship to come in and you go swim out to your ship and go get it. They say good things come to those who wait, but it says only what's left over to those who hustle. Guys, I'm telling you, if you want to get it, if you want to win, and Mr. Bradley says it's on his call. Just because you're in the water don't mean you're going to catch the wave. Now, I'm committed to everybody who's a part of IFC. You're going to become an international executive. But, guys, this is the part about the accountability. We're pushing you out the nest. If you ever heard the story about the eagle and how they make the nest of thorny branches, they make it uncomfortable for the eaglet to stay there because you're gonna fly. You ain't staying in the nest. You ain't going to stay here. Oh, okay, when you doing the next call? When's your next launch call? No. When you launching the call? What was interesting was this, and I'll send it to all y'all. Well, I will put it up in the page with that. But what's funny is this. People don't realize this. I had somebody say, oh, my God, you were so great on that call. I said, I was reading. They said, for real? I write out my script. Well, I mean, why am I going to sit there and try to memorize all that stuff? I wrote it. It's in me, but I was reading it. Now, I wasn't trying to read it verbatim because I wrote it so I could skim at it, but guess what? I was reading it. I'm on a cop, me and JP was rocking and rolling. They said, oh, that was good. When's the next call? Guess what? I was reading my script. See, why'd I tell you that? I don't want you to be so impressed with, oh, my God, you were so amazing. Guys, I wrote it out and I read it. What am I telling you? I'll give you the same script, but at some point, you got to get it for yourself. When are you going to put 10 or 20 people on a call and do it? And then invite me on to come and do what Mark did for me. See, guys, you're sitting there waiting for your ship to come. It's time for you to go out to your ship. You said you want to be international. You said you want to be diamond. It's not going to just happen because. It's going to happen because you go make it happen. Now, having said that, this is my belief. When you hit national, you need to create yourself a private team page. Huh? Listen, guys, you said you got to do what the diamonds do. Now, I'm a firm believer you should always be plugged into your leadership. You should, number one, be a part of the Teamwork Global page. You should be plugged into the team, to my page. If you're on my team, you should be plugged into my team. If you're on Trey's team or Orlando, you need to be plugged into your leadership. You should always be in line with your leadership, always being congruent. But guys, understand this. You have a team, and sometimes when people join, you say, well, you didn't promote my person. It's your job. When somebody joins the business, it's your, now listen, when you put them on my page, man, we're going to say congratulations, way to go, woo-hoo, you did it. But guys, you got a team, and sometimes that's the way you can communicate with your team. Now listen to me. I'm not trying to get everybody to go out and create 15 pages. I'm not trying to tell you that. That's not my goal. My goal is, guys, I need you to start seeing yourself and doing what International is doing. I didn't know she was going to get on, but I'm going to say this. J.P. Watkins, before she hit International, had a team page. Now what I started noticing was, guess what? She would put her people on her page, and they started interacting, and if there's a call going on, if there's something's going on, she's letting her team know. Now, guess what? No, y'all don't have access. It's private. It's her page. But guess what? And she invited me to join in because I just help her. But what am I telling you this? What's your team page? You say you got 15 people, but how do you communicate with them? How do you correspond with them? I mean, how do they know what's going on? How do you inspire them? See, you plugged into the big page, and they should be plugged into the big page. But what if you're in a certain area? What if you're in a geographical area? For instance, I'm just using this example. Again, they're in Dallas, so she goes what's going on all across the country. And I'm speaking to Miss Watkins. She shares what's going on all across the country, but she'll let her team know, hey, guys, we're having a travel party today here, and we're doing this, and we got a call. And I'm just like, but I'm watching. It wasn't no accident that she hit that level. It's no accident when you see people hitting these levels. It's they're doing the activity. And I want to take away all the myths that you just think is some special pill or something special. No, you got to do the work. If you do the work, you get the results. Now, keep your pipeline full. Listen to me, guys. You might have to call 20 prospects to get 10 to even listen. But you got to do a list, right? But you might have to call 20 prospects, and then they go through the funnel process. They go through looking at the information. They go through it, and so that's why you got to stay organized. But you might have to call 20 to get 10 to listen. But out of the 10 who listen, you might have 5 that are even interested. Out of the 5 that's interested, you might got 3 that like it enough to join, right? My point being is you said, okay, I need 18 people. Well, that may mean that's how many calls you got to make. That's why you got to keep meeting new people. That's why you got to be prospecting. That's why you got to go. You don't go out to prospect, but you prospect as you go. Ain't nobody coming to your door knocking and saying, do you have an opportunity? You may have to prospect on Facebook. You may have to prospect on Twitter. You might have to use different means. But guys, I'm telling you, I went to a karaoke night, and there was a group that was there, and they was doing karaoke, but it was a married couple, couples, and the guy came up and he was in vacation. He did a great job, and he came and said, hey, Mr. White, I'm a part of vacation. I said, okay. And he told me, I'm a part of this meetup group. We get together. Guys, I don't know, maybe you'll take your interest. You may join a meetup group. I don't know nobody. Well, guess what? Become a part of a meetup group where they meet publicly. If whatever your passion is, I'm just telling you guys, I'm taking away all the excuses, and I'm empowering you to say, it's your time. Stop hiding behind, go get it. Now, one other thing, here's what I need you to know so you don't get offended. Okay, I signed up 3 people. Man, they ain't moving. Let me tell you something what's going to happen. If you enroll 3 people, here's what's going to happen. Out of the 3, no, let me really tell you the truth. You got to enroll 10 people, and out of the 10 people that you enroll, you're going to have 1 go-getter. When I say go-getter, you're going to have 1 they're a mover, a shaker. They want it like you want it. If you stop, they're going to run into you because they're so close to you. You ain't got to tell them to go on conference calls. You ain't got to tell them what to do. They're going to do it. Then you're going to have 3 that's going to be happy part-timers. They just love to book travel. They want to save on their travel. They book travel. They make money from travel. They take fam trips. They're engaged. But they may come to the meeting. They may not. They may get on the conference call. They may not. They happy part-timers. And you got to stop running the part-timers away because you're trying to make them full-timers. They're not. Then you're going to have 3 out of it. You're going to have 3 that's sometimers. Sometimes they show up, sometimes they don't. So again, you're going to have 1 that's a go-getter that they're going to run. They're your next Tanya Mizell. They're your next Fern Sapp. They're your next Jackie Pippins. They're just a go-getter. You're going to have 3 that's happy part-timers. You're going to have 3 that's sometimes, anytimes, and you'll know. And then you're going to have 3 that's going to go in the witness protection program. They'll join, but they're going to disappear. Why am I telling you this? So you don't think that I signed up and they ain't moving. Guys, that's the numbers. I'm trying to tell you, the people who are going to do it, you got to probably put 10 in your system, and that's not just you, but through your team in a consistent, in a quick period of time to find the runners. Everybody ain't going to run. But when you come across, a Mark Sterling, or when you come across a go-getter, Desmond Donald, when you come across, they're going to go do it themselves. They're going to go do whatever they got to do. But guys, what I'm trying to tell you is I don't want you to get discouraged because, I put in 3 people and ain't nobody moving. Okay, well, that's just a part of the process. Guess what? Put in the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, and you're going to find that go-getter. But you got to put enough people in a short period of time so that you can get the results. Now, this is where you stay organized. I got 2 slides, and then we're going to open up the lines. Once you take people in your prospect and they're interested, you move them off your list and you put them on this tracking sheet. This is for you. But this allows you to see who's in the pipeline, because what happens is you put their name down, you put their phone number. How did you expose them? Oh, they was on a webinar. They was on a conference call. Okay, whatever. PBR, they came to my house. They did a travel party. Did you do a 3-way phone call? Yes or no? See, because I can look down and call them and see, okay, we're going to see who closed and who didn't close, and I can always tell, did you do a 3-way phone call? Now, there's sometimes they're interested. They may go on a sizzle call and they like what they hear, and then you may do a 3-way phone call. Some people say, no, they got to watch a full presentation. I'm the type, if you put me on the phone with an interested person, I might be the one to invite them to go to the presentation. What do I mean? Let's say there's a event going on in Detroit. So you might take and put the person, I'm coming to Detroit. You might take and put the person on the sizzle call or invite them on the launch call. They really like what they hear. Then you come back and you say, well, Mr. White, I got John, and he was on the launch call tonight. He's at 7 on a scale of 10. He has a few questions. This is his question. And so I talk to him. And we have a good discussion, and I get to know who he is. And I say, well, John, listen, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be in your city next week. I would love for you to meet me there. He says, okay. Guess what? I may not close him at night, but I might invite him to the meeting, right? I might invite him to the next exposure. So he gets on the presentation. Now, let me explain the difference between a three-way and a validation. The three-way is we're going to test their pulse and see if we can close them, but sometimes you got to do validation. What's the validation? Well, if I find out, let's say, for instance, that they are military, I might put them on the phone with Orlando Moore to validate. If I find out that they're a single mother, I might talk about Shanaza's story and put them on the phone. If I find out they have a child with a special needs, I might put them on the phone with Mark Sterling, or if they were a networker. If they're a five-figure earner and they just, I'm going to validate it. I'm going to put them on the phone with somebody who they can relate with. I'll use sororities, I'll use fraternities, I'll use anything I can to put them on the phone. If they're a minister, I'm going to put them on the phone with another minister. Oh, you got to meet Pastor Townsend. Really? If they're a teacher, oh, Jolanda George. Why? Because the reality is sometimes they need to know, okay, somebody else who's in their situation. They may think, I just don't have time. So I love putting them on the phone with somebody else who's busy just like they are. So what I'm saying is, yes, you might do a three-way phone call. They may come to a presentation, but they still may not sign up. But you may have to do a validation call. A validation call may be where you put them on the phone with 2 or 3 people, not all at the same time, but you just put them on, and then the people say, oh, man, this has been great for me. And they can ask questions that they want to ask, but they're scared. Well, what's the biggest challenge? They can ask that person. But last but not least, it's going to find out, okay, did they join? Yes or no? And it's going to find out what their interest is. Was it building a business or was it travel? I really believe sometimes we get people in to tell you they want to book travel, and you try to force them to build a business. You follow what I'm saying? See, guys, you got to know where they are when they come in and what they joined for, not what you want them to do. So I know that you got goals. I know that you're going to hit international. But, guys, what I'm trying to tell you is this. You're in the people business, and you got to listen to what people tell you. So having said that, that's actually today's presentation. That's today's webinar. Now, what I told you I wanted you to do, let me pause this real quick because I'm going to actually ask questions. I'm going to go down. Before y'all get a chance, I'm going to ask, I'm going to find out something real quick. One quick second. Okay. So what I told you I was going to ask tonight was I want to know where you are, meaning how many personal recruits you personally have. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up for questions, but I'm going to actually have you submit this in writing. I can look through the back office, but since you're on, here's what I want to know. Now, people say, Shedrick, you had me write out my story. Let me give you a couple updates. I have gotten the stories. I am actually reading them. Some of them are really, really good. Some of them I'm helping rewrite so you can have your story. But what I want you to understand is I'm going to work on that, and you'll get that within a week or so. While I'm on the plane, I'm going to kind of redo most of them. I got 9 hours, so I get to fly, and I get to kind of do it and get it back to you. But what I need to know, and I want you to send it to Vacation Diamond Team, is where you are. What do I mean where you are? Do you have one person? Do you have 2 persons? Do you have 3? Are you an executive? Are you a regional executive? Are you a national executive? Where are you? How many? Now, if you're a regional executive, national executive, I want to know in terms of your team. Today they did a call on your core 3. Many of y'all don't have a core 3. But do you have anybody who tells you that they want to get to international or diamond? Do you have anybody who decides that? So on your team, do you have anyone who's executive, regional executive? Who are they? What's their name and what's their rank? I may do a conference call with you with those people. If you got one, but guess what? I want to know on your team who are the people. Also your calendar. What do you have scheduled on your calendar? Now, let me tell you what I mean. Yes, you got there in London. Yes, you got Shanaz and Tanya in Virginia. Yes, you got that I'm in Columbia. Yes, you got all the big meetings. I'm talking about your personal activity. I'm talking about what presentations. What appointments do you have? What do you have scheduled? Remember I told you had to have appointments? I don't want you only relying on. Now, yes, I want you to do travel parties. Yes, I want you to do conference calls. I want you to do webinars. Well, Shedrick, I don't know how to do a webinar. Well, look, you can go on YouTube and watch it. You can go to GoToWebinar. You can go to Join Me. You can go watch how to do it. It's not hard. Guys, take some initiative and stop waiting. But what's a webinar? I'm doing a webinar now where you can see the screen. Oh, you mean I could talk to somebody who's in another city? See, you waiting for when's the meeting? Okay, when the meeting come, I'm gonna let you know. Dude, if you don't get them in front of their computer and say, let me show you the business, if you don't take them on a test drive, if you don't get, why are you waiting? What you waiting on? You waiting for somebody else to sign them up? What are you waiting on? So what does your calendar look like? How many travel parties do you have? How many one-on-ones do you have? Well, shit, I work a lot. Okay, well, you got a lunch hour. Who you inviting at your job to meet you off campus to meet with them? I want to meet with you for 15 minutes. You eat, I talk. I'll buy you a sandwich. Guys, I'm just trying to take away the myth of you waiting for it. So last but not least, if you do, who's your core team? Based on what they describe, who's your eggs, your flowers, your milk? If you have them, guys, we can get all y'all to run. It won't take long. And lastly, what promising prospects do you have in your pipeline? So, guys, what I want you to do is I want you to submit that to your Vacation Diamond team. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to see what questions. Does anybody have any questions? I was going to open up and ask those questions specifically, and I do see a couple hands. So based on the hands, I'm going to entertain those questions. But, guys, what I really want you to understand is these next calls that we do, I'm not going to really be doing any training as much as I'm going to be helping assess based on challenges you may experience on your appointments, or this is what I experienced, how would you handle this? But right now, we're in the stages, now it's time for results. It's time for presentations. And before you can be great, you're going to be good. Before you can be good, you're going to be bad. But before you can be bad, you got to at least attempt or make an effort. So with that being said, I'm going to open up for any questions that you have as it relates to tonight. So, Ms. Dawn Green, I think you're the first hand that I see. So I'm going to unmute your phone and please ask your question. How you doing? Ms. Dawn Green?